Recording in progress.
Good evening, guys. All are getting my screen and voice. Please confirm in chat box.
Good evening, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep. Thanks for confirmation. So today, we are going to start our discussion about AWS, guys. AWS, I'm going to start. AWS Cloud. AWS Cloud, I'm going to start, guys. To attend for this AWS Cloud, what are the prerequisites, guys? To attend for this AWS Cloud sessions, what are the prerequisites? The main prerequisites to attend for this session is Linux commands. Linux commands, basics Linux commands is enough, guys. Prerequisites. To attend for this course is Linux commands. Basics, guys. Basic Linux commands are enough. Right. So what is the duration of this course, guys? Duration of AWS Cloud is 30 days, guys. 30 days I'm going to spend on this AWS Cloud only. So what is the class timings, guys? What is the timings? Daily class timings, it will start by 7:30, guys. 7:30 p.m. IST to up to 9, guys. Up to 9 p.m. IST. Up to 9 p.m. IST. Guys, to attend for this AWS Cloud, the main prerequisites are basic Linux commands are enough. Duration of this course is 30 days, guys. Timings 7:30 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST, guys. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear? Coming to course content, what we are going to discuss in AWS Cloud. What we are going to discuss in AWS Cloud, guys. Course content. See, guys. First, we are going to understand what is cloud computing. Why we need to go for this cloud computing. Guys, infrastructure, if you want to deploy any application, we should have the infrastructure. So that infrastructure we can set up in our own environment, in our own area, guys. In our office only, we can set up that infrastructure also. If you do like that, there was some problems, guys. There was some problems are there, right? So to avoid those problems, we are going with this cloud computing. And if you go with the cloud computing, you no need to set up the infrastructure on your premises. Right? In cloud only, in cloud environment, we can set up the infrastructure. Why we need to set up the infrastructure in the cloud environment? If you set up the infrastructure in your premises, what will happen? All those things we are going to discuss it here, guys. To set up to deploy the application, what we require? We require infrastructure. Infrastructure you can set up in your premises, or else you can go with cloud computing also. If you go with cloud computing, what advantages are there? Why we need to go for cloud computing? Everything we are going to discuss it here. First, what is cloud computing? What is cloud computing? We are going to discuss. Next, advantages of the cloud computing. Advantages of cloud computing we are going to discuss. Advantages of cloud computing. Next, in AWS, we have 200 plus services are available, guys. In AWS, we have 200 plus services are available. Are we going to use all 200 services? No, guys. Right. Some services will be used by the DevOps team. Some services will be used by the data science team. Some services will be used by the some other teams, like that. Based on the requirement, they will choose different services in the AWS cloud, guys. Overall, we have 200 plus services in the AWS cloud. Now here we are going to give, I am going to give the overview of the services which we are going to discuss in our course, guys. Overview of AWS services we are going to discuss. Overview of AWS services. Next, guys, see here where we are creating the AWS services, where we are going to use these services, guys, where you are going to create the instances, where you are going to create the databases. All those things we are need to discuss, guys. That's why we have regions, guys. Regions. What is regions and availability zones? Regions and availability zones we are going to discuss it here. Regions and availability zones. What regions are available? Right, globally, how many regions are available? Under those regions, we have the availability zones. Total, how many availability zones are available? In India, how many regions are available? In India, how many availability zones are available? Everything we are going to discuss. Earlier, in India, we have only one region which is located in Mumbai, guys. In India, only one region which is located in Mumbai. Under that region name is AP South 1, guys. Region name is AP South 1. Under that AP South 1 region, we have 3 availability zones, guys. AP South 1A, AP South 1B, AP South 1C. Right now, the latest case, recently one more region also came in India, that is located in Hyderabad, guys. Hyderabad also one more region started, guys. Earlier in India, we have only one region that is located in Mumbai. Recently, one more region is started in Hyderabad also. Now in India, total how many regions are available? 2 regions are available. One is in Mumbai location, another one is in Hyderabad location. Okay. Under those regions, what availability zones are available? All those things we are going to discuss it here, guys. Right? Next, guys. Next. After completing these regions and all, we are going to discuss about the data centers. What is data center? What is data center? Right? All those things we are going to discuss, guys. Right? From outside, how data centers look like. Inside, how data centers look like. Everything we will discuss it here, guys. Next, we will talk about from here onwards, our main services will start, guys. From here onwards, our main services are going to start. See, guys, here one more thing, guys. One more thing. Right here, IaaS versus PaaS versus SaaS. SaaS. What is infrastructure as service? What is platform as service? What is software as service? What is the differences between these three? If you go with the infrastructure as service, what cloud providers are providing, what you need to take care. If you go with the platform as a service, what cloud providers are providing, what you need to take care. If you go with the software as service, what cloud providers are providing, what you need to take care, everything we are going to discuss it here. IaaS stands for infrastructure as service. PaaS stands for platform as service. SaaS stands for software as service. We are going to discuss the differences between all these types, guys. Right? So next, as a first service, up to here introduction, guys. Just introduction of the cloud computing. Why we need to go for the AWS? Right? Just introduction, guys, up to here. Now the actual services will start from here. The actual services will start from here. As a first service, we are going to discuss EC2. EC2, guys. Out of 200 plus services, this EC2 is the very important service, guys. If you want to create a virtual machine, whether it is a Windows virtual machine or else Linux virtual machine, compulsory this EC2 is mandatory. By using EC2 service only, we can create the virtual machine. We can create the virtual machine, guys. Out of 200 services, one of the most important service is EC2. What is EC2 stands for, guys? Elastic Compute Cloud. Elastic Compute Cloud, guys. Elastic Compute Cloud. Elastic Compute Cloud, guys. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, guys. Okay, next, guys. Next we are going to discuss EBS. Next we are going to discuss EBS. EBS, guys. What is EBS, guys? What is EBS? EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage. EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage. What is Elastic Block Storage, guys? See, guys, once you create the Linux virtual machine, along with that Linux virtual machine, you will get a default volume, guys. Some space you will get. 8 GB space you will get, guys. And inside that 8 GB space, you will have operating system also. Operating system also. Tomorrow, if you terminate that instance, along with that instance, your 8 GB volume also will be terminated. But where you need to store your data, guys? Where you need to store your data? If you store that data in that volume, what it will happen when you terminated the instance, that volume also will be terminated. So that's why here we need to create some additional volumes. Additional volumes we need to create, and we need to attach those additional volumes with the EC2 instance, and we need to store the information in the additional volume. Once your work is done, you can detach the additional volume from the EC2 instance. It's a kind of hard disk, guys. How you can connect the hard disk to the laptop, how you can store the data. Once you store the data, how you can remove the hard disk. Same way, in EBS also, we can create the additional volumes, and we can attach those additional volumes with the EC2 instances. Later, you can detach those volumes from the instances. Right. So those things we need to discuss in EBS. EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage. For storage purpose, we will use this one, guys. Next one is very important one, ELB. ELB. ELB stands for what, guys? Elastic Load Balancer. Elastic Load Balancer. Guys, this is very important interview question, guys. Whether you are the developer or DevOps engineer or AWS person, guys. This one is very important. Elastic Load Balancer. How you have implemented the load balancer in your current project. In interview, they will ask how you will set up the load balancer in your current project, guys. Suppose if I deploy the application in only one server, right? If traffic is increased on the server will take more time to provide the response. Sometimes server may get crash also. Then what we need to do? We need to deploy the application in multiple servers. Multiple servers, guys. Now, load balancer will take care which request it has to send it to which server. In multiple servers, my application is running to which server it has to send the request, that will be taken care by the load balancer. Finally, what load balancer will do? Load balancer will distribute the load to multiple servers. Load balancer will distribute the load to multiple servers. To do that activity internally, load balancer will use some algorithms. What algorithm it is using, guys? Round robin algorithm. It will use round robin algorithm to distribute the load to multiple servers. What is the job of load balancer, guys? To distribute the load to multiple servers by using round robin algorithm. Next, guys, once ELB is completed, we need to talk about, right? We need to talk about ASG. ASG, guys. We need to talk about ASG. ASG stands for what, guys? Auto Scaling Group. Auto Scaling Group. What is this auto scaling group, guys? Guys, right. So I have set up initially I deployed my application in 10 servers, guys. 10 servers. Suppose assume I'm running one e-commerce application. I have deployed my e-commerce application in 10 servers. Now, per day, as per my assumption, per day, I will get 1 lakh request. To handle that 1 lakh request, 10 servers are sufficient. So, I have set up 10 servers and I deployed my application in the 10 servers. Tomorrow, I announced one offer, guys. I announced one offer. It suddenly, Suddenly per day 3 lakhs requests are coming, guys. 10 servers can able to handle 3 lakhs requests. No, guys. 10 servers can handle only 1 lakh request. But here 2 more lakhs, 2 lakhs more requests are coming. Then we need 20 more servers. To handle 3 lakhs requests, we need total 30 servers. But here we have set up only 10 servers. What about remaining? Right here, automatically, based on the traffic, it should scale up the servers. It should increase the number of servers. Automatically, based on the traffic, it should reduce the number of servers. That is called as auto scaling. Increasing the servers, decreasing the servers based on the traffic is called as auto scaling. Is it clear, guys? Right, suppose, right, if you go and purchase, right, so 20 more servers, and if you set up, what it will happen, guys? Okay, 30 servers are there, per day 3 lakhs requests are coming, your servers can able to handle. Suddenly again, I'm getting 10 lakh, I'm getting 1 lakh requests only per day. What you will do? Necessarily you purchase 20 more servers and you have done setup and everything, guys. But again, traffic is same. 1 lakh request only you are getting. Then what you will do with those 20 servers? Money waste, time waste, everything waste. So that's why if you go with cloud computing, automatically, we don't need to do anything, guys. We don't need to purchase anything. Automatically, AWS will take care of this auto scaling. If traffic is increasing, AWS only will increase the number of servers. Traffic is decreased, AWS only will decrease the number of servers automatically. Suppose if you do this activity manually, you need to go to the market and you need to purchase 20 more servers, you need to set up. Okay, first 2-3 days, 3 lakhs requests are came, fine. Then from next day onwards, again only 1 lakh requests I am getting. What you will do with the 20 servers, extra 20 servers? Unnecessarily money waste and time waste. That's why right here AWS will take care of this auto scaling part also. See, guys, these are very important things, guys. EC2, EBS, ELB, ASG. EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud. EBS stands for Elastic Block Storage. ELB stands for Elastic Load Balancer. ASG stands for Auto Scaling Group. Guys, here whatever I am writing, everything I will show in practical. I will show in practical, guys, not theoretically, guys. I will show everything practically. How to work with Elastic Compute Cloud, how to create the volumes, how to attach the volumes to EC2 instance, how to detach the volumes from the EC2 instance, how to set up the load balancer, how to create the auto scaling group. Everything I will show practically. Right, I am the real-time working employee. In my project, we are using this AWS cloud, so I can able to show practically everything, guys. Okay. Once ASG is completed, next I will talk about S3. S3, guys. What is this S3, guys? It is Simple Storage Service. S3 stands for Simple Storage Service. Simple Storage Service, guys. We will use S3 to store the objects, guys. We will store in the S3 everything in the form of objects only. So you can share that object URL to other people. They can able to access that object from your S3 bucket, guys. How to create the S3 bucket, how to store the objects inside the S3 bucket, how to create the pre-signed URL, what is the pre-signed URL, everything we are going to discuss it here. S3 also one of the important service only. Okay, once S3 is completed, next we are going to discuss about Route 53. Route 53 I am going to talk. Route 53. What is this Route 53? And what is this Route 53? DNS mapping. Route 53 is DNS mapping, guys. DNS mapping, guys. See, guys. See here, I have the load balancer set up, guys. And people are sending the request to load balancer. Load balancer URL is too long, guys. People can't able to remember. See, you have the Facebook URL. What you have? www.facebook.com. You have the Gmail URL. What you have? www.gmail.com. Right, but my load balancer URL is too long, guys. People can't able to remember those URLs. Then what we need to do? We need to purchase one domain. Here, facebook.com, gmail.com, google.com. These are the domain names, guys. we need to purchase the domain name and we need to map that domain name with the DNS URL. See guys, if you go with the Gmail application also deployed in the multiple servers. So for Gmail application also load balancer is available. That load balancer have the DNS URL. The DNS URL is too long. People can't able to remember the DNS URL. How they can send the request to Gmail application? Right, they purchased one domain name, that is gmail.com, and they shared the domain name to the public. Public are sending the request to that gmail.com domain name only. Internally, that domain name is mapped with the Gmail application load balancer DNS URL. Internally, that domain name is mapped with DNS URL of the Gmail application load balancer. Whenever you send the request to gmail.com, internally that DNS, that domain name will route your request to DNS URL, guys. Load balancer DNS URL. That load balancer will distribute the load to servers. See here, we are going to discuss how to map domain names and DNS URLs. How to map domain names and DNS URLs, we are going to discuss it here. Right, next, once this route 53 is completed, next we are going to discuss about RDS. RDS stands for what? Relational Database Service. Relational Database Service. Relational database service, guys. Relational database services means what? Oracle database, MySQL database, MariaDB. All these things are the relational databases, guys. Sequential databases, guys. We need to create the relational database, guys. MySQL database I want to create. We can create and store give those details. MySQL database endpoint URL, username, password, all those details. Give it to developers. Developers will configure those details in their application and they will perform the DB operations, guys. When they want to insert the data inside the database, they can perform that. When they want to retrieve the data from the database, they can able to retrieve. All the DB operations they can able to perform through applications. But here what we need to do? We need to create the database inside the AWS cloud and that database endpoint URL, username, password, port number, everything we need to give it to developers. Developers will configure those details in their application and they can perform the DB operations. Okay, next one is DynamoDB. DynamoDB. What is this DynamoDB? So this is the NoSQL database, guys. NoSQL database. DynamoDB is the AWS own product, guys. DynamoDB is the AWS own product. Right here, NoSQL database means right here without a sequential. There is no sequential tables and all, guys. If you go with relational database, that is sequential. Everything will be formed in the form of tables, columns and rows like that. But coming to NoSQL databases, not like that. Here everything will be represented in the form of JSON format. JSON format, guys. In NoSQL, we won't have any tables, columns, rows like that, guys. Here will be represented data in the form of JSON. But if you go with RDS, we need to represent the data in the form of tables, guys, columns and rows like that. And here DynamoDB is the AWS own product, so we can create the DynamoDB tables at here, guys. Okay, next, guys, once this DynamoDB is completed, next we will talk about DynamoDB. Next, DynamoDB, once DynamoDB is completed, next we will talk about Elastic Beanstalk. Elastic Beanstalk, guys. Elastic Beanstalk. Guys, in interview, they will ask, in AWS cloud, which service is going to work as platform as a service? Right, in AWS, which service is the platform as service? See, guys, here IaaS, PaaS, SaaS. In interview, they will ask, which service is the platform as service? Elastic Beanstalk. Elastic Beanstalk, guys. See here, what we need to do? I have the Java application. I will give my Java application to Elastic Beanstalk. And I will give my Java application to Elastic Beanstalk. I'm not responsible to create the platform to run the Java application, guys. If you want to run the Java application, you should have the platform. But in this case, I'm not responsible to create the platform to run my Java application. What I will do, just I will give my Java application to this Elastic Beanstalk. Elastic Beanstalk. Based on our application, Elastic Beanstalk will create the platform to run our application. Here, Elastic Beanstalk only will create the platform to run our application. That is not our responsibility. Just we need to give our application code to Elastic Beanstalk. It will check, hey, is this person using Java runtime or Python runtime or Node.js? What he is using? Based on that, it will create one platform to run our application. Okay. Right. So now, once this Elastic Beanstalk is completed, we will talk about VPC. This is very, 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 very important, guys. This is very, 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 very important. VPC. VPC, guys. This is one of the, after EC2, this is the next one of the big service in AWS, guys. And in our course, the first big service is EC2. Next big service is VPC only. VPC means virtual private cloud. Virtual private cloud, guys. VPC stands for virtual private cloud. Here what we need to do, guys, we need to create our own network. We need to create our own network, guys, to secure the resources of AWS. See, guys, for my application I'm going to use 10 resources, guys. I want to secure all my 10 AWS resources. For that, we need to create our own network. We will create our own network by using VPC, virtual private cloud. Very, very important, guys, and one of the big service in AWS, guys. A lot of things are there in a VPC, guys. Lot of things we need to discuss in VPC, right? So VPC is a large network. Inside that VPC, right, we need to write partitions, guys. We need to do the partitions like subnets, guys. Subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3. In that subnet, again, we need to take some of the subnets are public subnets, some of the subnets are private subnets, guys. Right, we need to give access of public subnet only outside the people. Right, we won't give the access for the private subnet. Inside the private subnet, we will keep our databases. We will keep our S3 bucket, we will keep our web servers, these kind of things we will keep inside the private subnet. Inside the public subnet, we will keep our application servers. People can able to access application server. Those kind of things we will keep in the public subnet. When we are going to take multiple subnets, we need to provide the IPs also. IPs also we need to provide. How you will do the IP sharing? Very, very important interview question. Right? IP cider blocks, guys. Here, see, in my, I have 3 subnets, guys. In each subnet, I am taking 10 resources, 10 resources I am taking. Each resource will use one IP address. So, I need to share that IP addresses, guys. Array, first subnet will use 10 resources. So 10 IP addresses are required for first subnet. Second subnet is using 10 resources. So, 10 IP addresses we need to give to second subnet also. Third subnet will use 20 resources. So we need to give 20 IP addresses to third subnet also. How you will share that IP addresses and all those things. What is NAT gateway? What is internet gateway? What is subnets? What is public subnet? What is private subnet? What is VPC peering? All those things we need to discuss in VPC. This is very, 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 very important service, guys. Why? Because with this only we are going to provide the security to our resources. Security is very important, right? So how you will provide the security for your resources? By using VPC only. Okay, fine, guys. After completing this VPC, what we are going to discuss? Once VPC is completed, what we are going to discuss, guys? Right, especially for the developers. This is also very, very important, guys. This is also very, very important for the developers, which is lambdas, guys. Right, serverless computing. Guys, can anyone tell me what is serverless computing? What is serverless, guys? Can anyone tell me? Guys, please respond. Speak out. What is serverless? Lambdas is a serverless, guys. What is serverless? Respond, guys. Guys, I'm not audible. Are you guys getting my voice or not? Please confirm. Hello.
Sir, no idea, sir, about lambdas.
Without managing servers, without having servers, Najish?
Without having servers.
Without having servers, sir.
How,
Actually,
without having servers, how you will run application, man? To run the application, server is mandatory, man. Without server, we can't able to run the application. Serverless computing means without managing by us, we no need to manage the servers. AWS will take care that. Serverless means AWS will manage the servers. We are not required to manage the servers. We are not required to manage the servers, guys. I will discuss. We'll discuss, guys. In the case of Elastic Beanstalk also, in the case of Elastic Beanstalk also, we are not managing the servers. AWS only will manage the servers. But in interview, they will ask what is the difference between Elastic Beanstalk and Lambdas. In both the cases, AWS only managing the servers. We are not managing. Then what is the difference? Elastic Beanstalk is follows pay as you go approach. Pay as you go approach, guys. But Lambdas follows pay for use approach. Pay for use approach, guys. What is this pay as you go? What is pay for use? I will discuss, guys. Okay, fine, guys. The Lambdas is very, very important, guys. Right? Once this Lambdas is completed, I will talk about CloudWatch. CloudWatch I will discuss, guys. CloudWatch. CloudWatch. What is this CloudWatch? Right? Monitoring purpose. Our application is running. Guys. We need to monitor that. How much CPU is using, how much memory it is using, how much CPU it is using. Everything we need to monitor. That's why whenever we are using CloudWatch, internally it will be connected with one alarm. Guys. For that alarm, we will keep one trigger point. Every day you will keep your alarms, right? Every day morning at 7 o'clock, that alarm should give the signal, guys. Same way here also we will put one trigger point to that alarm, guys. Whenever it reaches to the trigger point, automatically alarm will give one siren. Guys. In our case, siren means what? Alarm will give one notification. Hey man, CPU utilization is reached 50%. Please check with that. So like that, it will give one notification. For giving that notification, we are going to use SNS service. Simple notification service also we are going to discuss in CloudWatch only. CloudWatch we will use for monitoring purpose, guys. And internally it will use SNS, simple notification service. Right? It will ask you, hey man, do you want to send the notification to your mail ID, or do I want to send the notification to your phone number? Configure that. Based on your configuration, it will give the notification. Okay. Once this CloudWatch is completed, right, we will talk about EKS, Elastic Kubernetes Service. Guys. And with this Elastic Kubernetes Service, we are going to create the cluster, guys. It will provide one cluster, and in that cluster only we will deploy our applications, guys. We will talk in detail. This is one of the main service, guys. And if you want to deploy the application in production environment, right, Kubernetes clusters are required. Right, we will discuss this, guys. EKS means Elastic Kubernetes Service. Okay, next, guys, ECS, guys. ECS stands for what? Elastic Container Service. If you want to create the container, you should have the Docker image. Docker is a container tool, containerization tool. And in Docker sessions, what we will do, right, by using Docker run command, we will create the containers from images, guys. But in ECS, we are not going to execute any commands to create the containers. Right? If you have the image, give that image to ECS. ECS will create the container. Inside the container, only application will run. Right? ECS is a Elastic Container Service, guys. Next, once this ECS is completed, we are going to talk about cloud formation. Right. So what is this cloud formation? With this cloud formation, what we will do? Right? With this cloud formation, we will do the infrastructure setup. Infrastructure we are going to create by using cloud formation. Guys, infrastructure we can create in multiple ways. In AWS management console, we have the GUI facility. UI is available. Through that UI, you can able to create the infrastructure, or else you can create the infrastructure by using code also. Right? So we have the Terraform. By using Terraform also, we will create the infrastructure only. But right, by using cloud formation also, we can create the infrastructure only. In interview, they will ask what is the difference between cloud formation and Terraform. If you go with the Terraform, you can create the infrastructure in any cloud provider, whether it is AWS or it is Azure or it is GCP. Anywhere you can create the infrastructure by using Terraform. But if you go with cloud formation, only AWS. Cloud formation is specific to AWS only. Terraform is for all cloud providers. That is the difference between cloud formation and Terraform. Next, guys, Terraform will come in DevOps, guys, not in AWS. Okay, next, guys. Once this cloud formation is completed, next I'm going to talk about SNS. SNS anyway, and we are going to discuss SNS in CloudWatch only. SNS, guys, simple notification service. Next one is SQS. SQS, guys. Here Q, guys. Q means what? Some application will run, guys. Whenever our application is running, it will generate some messages, guys, and it will store those messages inside the queue. Once that application stores the messages inside the queue, some subscribers will come, some consumers will come who want those messages. They will come and they will consume the messages from the queue. And here, instead of by using queues, what we are doing, guys, we are decoupling the services, guys. Instead of communicating the multiple services always, we are decoupling by using SQS. I'm not required to communicate with any other services, guys. I will create one queue. Inside that queue, I will put the message. Whoever wants this message, those persons will come and connect to that queue, and they will take the message from the queue and they will process that message. And how we will work with SQS, we are going to discuss it here. Right? Once SQS is completed, we will talk about SES. SES, simple email service. SES stands for simple email service. SES, simple email service, guys. How we have SNS, how we have SQS, same way that email notifications, SES also we have, guys. Okay. Next we have IAM, guys. IAM, before that only I will discuss IAM, guys. Not at the end. In the middle only I will talk about IAM, guys. IAM stands for Identity and Access Management. Identity and Access Management, guys. Identity and Access Management. Identity and Access Management. What is this? Yes. Whenever we have created the account in AWS, root account, that will be root account, guys. As the root account user, you can access all the services in AWS, guys. Whatever the services are available, all 200 services you can able to access as a root user. But in real time, we are going to use company providing AWS account. A company providing AWS account we are using. That is not a free tier account. That is the paid account, guys. If company provided root account to the people, right, unnecessarily they will use different services, guys. And by mistake, if they use any paid services, unnecessarily money they need to pay, guys. That's why in companies what they will do, inside the AWS, they will create some groups, guys. DevOps group, development group, testing group, like that they will create some groups, guys. Suppose any person joined in the DevOps, that person they will add in that DevOps group. As a DevOps group, you can able to use only some of the services. Other services you can't able to access. Why? Because you don't have the permission. Right, so as a developer, you can able to access only few services like RDS, DynamoDB. And apart those things, you can't able to use EC2, S3, all these things, guys. You don't have the permission. Like that, we need to separate groups wise. We need to give the permissions, access management to groups, guys. Identity and access management. Accesses we need to give the groups wise, guys. If I give the root account, you will use all the services, but you are not the right person to use all the services, guys. How I can able to separate that? By using IAM only, I can able to do that, guys. Okay, once IAM, right, before that only, right, here IAM. Next here I will talk about Next here I will talk about ideas. Here we will discuss CLI. CLI guys, command line interface. Command line interface also we are going to discuss guys. In command line interface what we are doing guys, through command prompt we are going to create the infrastructure. I want to create the right, I want AMI, I have written right, AMI will come in EC2 only guys. AMI will come in EC2 only. Right, AMI is the part of EC2 only guys. See guys, CLI through command line interface I want to create the EC2 mission. Through command line interface I want to create the S3 bucket. And how we can able to do? You don't need to log in into AWS management console. And through UI you don't need to do guys. Through command line interface also we can do that. If you want to do that through command line interface, you should have the programmatic access. You should write some script guys. You should have the programmatic access. By using that programmatic access you can able to do that. If you want to work by using CLI, you should know some scripting guys. Then only if you are strong in scripting, then you can go with CLI. Right? If you are not strong in scripting, then you can go with our UI guys. UI only you can do that guys. Okay. So once the CLI also is completed at last, right? And here we will talk something about it billing related things guys. Billing related issues. Billing information. Right guys, I'm using EC2 services. Guys. I forget to stop the instances. Some bill got generated guys. Right, so you don't need to pay anything guys. We can send the request to AWS team. Hey man, I'm exploring as a student, I'm exploring the AWS services. By mistake I forget to stop some of the instances. Because of that bill got generated. Could you please waive off my bill? Like that we can send the request to AWS team. They will make it waive off guys. They will make it 0. You don't need to pay guys. But this is only for the EC2 instances usage. Right. In Route 53, I am purchasing domain guys. Right. If you want to practice Route 53, you need to purchase the domain. Right. So for that, if you send a request to waive off that bill, they won't do guys. You are using some paid things. How you will make it 0? They won't do guys. Right. I'm using EKS. EKS completely paid version guys. EKS is completely paid service. Elastic Kubernetes service. You need to pay the bill. Guys. And some of the paid services are there. You need to pay the bill for those services. For only EC2 instances. By mistake, if you forget to stop the instances, then if any bill got generated, we can request them to make it 0 that bill guys. Okay. How to send the request also? I will show it here guys. Okay. Yes. Elastic load balancer. LBR load balancer. Elastic load balancer guys. Is it clear guys? All these things we are going to discuss in our AWS guys. Just have a look into this. Guys, if you joined only for AWS cloud at outside, you won't get these many services guys. Just have a look into this guys. What services we are going to discuss. To attend for this AWS cloud, the basic requirement, the basic prerequisites is Linux commands guys. And here it will take 30 days guys. It plus 5 days, we can add plus 5 days guys. If any holidays are came, right? So plus 5 days. I will try to finish it guys. Right, next guys, but everything I will show practically. Here whatever I have written, everything I will show practically. Right, I will share these notes. You guys keep these notes. At the end, if I miss anything, you guys can ask. Right. Timings daily 7:30 p.m. IST to 9 p.m. IST. Right guys. See what is cloud computing, advantages of cloud computing, overview of the AWS services, what regions are available and what availability zones are available, what is data center, what is IaaS, PaaS, SAS, what is EC2, EBS, ELB, ASG, S3, Route 53, RDS, DynamoDB, Elastic Beanstalk, VPC, Lambdas, CloudWatch, EKS, ECS, CloudFormation, SNS, SQS, SES, IAM, CLI, all these things we are going to discuss in our course. Okay, is it clear, guys? Guys, once class is completed, I will share the class notes in Telegram group. See now how I have prepared. Same way, daily I will prepare the notes in front of you guys only. Once class is completed, I will share the class notes in the Telegram group, guys. You guys not required to write any running notes. It just focus on the subject, guys. Just to concentrate on the subject. Behalf of you guys, I will prepare the notes and I will send the notes to you. You guys are not required to take any running notes kind of thing. It point to point, step by step, everything I will write and I will share it, guys. Just by following that notes, you guys can practice the services. Guys, whether you are the developer or DevOps engineer, whatever it guys, nowadays, if you guys don't have the cloud experience, it is very difficult to get the job, guys. Any one cloud experience is mandatory, guys. Whether you are the developer or DevOps engineer, whatever it, compulsory one cloud experience, whether it is AWS or Azure or GCP. Right? One cloud experience is mandatory, then only you will get the job. Daily class notes are available and daily recorded videos also will be shared, guys. But those recording videos, 3 months access only. Guys, anyone have any questions in the course content? In this AWS content, anyone have any questions? From tomorrow onwards, we are going to start. Today, just I am giving the course content, guys. To complete all these things, minimum 30 to 35 days is required, guys. 30 to 35 days is required. And most of the time we need to spend on EC2 and VPC, guys. EC2, VPC, we need to spend more time, guys. Only on EC2, we need to spend at least 1 week of the time. Why? Because in EC2, we need to discuss a lot of things, guys. What is instances? Different types of instances are available. Next, what is AMI? How to create the custom AMI? What is ELB? How to create the volume? How to attach the volume? How to detach the volume? What is snapshot? Right? What is snapshot lifecycle? What is auto scaling group? Right? All these things, guys. Load balancer. We need to set up the load balancing. Right? Everything we need to discuss in EC2, guys. Only in EC2, we need to spend 1 week of the time. They added you in that group. I asked them to add all of you guys in the group. If they add all of you guys in the group, I will share the notes. Right? Before starting the session, I told to them to add all of you in the group, guys. And I will check and I will share the notes, guys. In the group, I will share all the notes. Ajay, I will share it. After this class is completed, I will check with them if they added or not. If they added, I will share the notes. Today only. Okay, guys. Anyone have any questions in this?
No, sir.
Good. Fine, guys. From tomorrow onwards, we will start, guys. From tomorrow onwards, we will start one by one, guys. Okay. For today, just firstly write AWS. So today, just I am giving the course content, guys. Guys, before starting the things, course content is very, very important, guys. First, you should know what you are going to learn. You should know what you are going to learn, guys. Okay. Fine, guys. And one more announcement, guys. And if you guys want to do parallelly DevOps also, if you guys want to do parallelly DevOps also, at 9 o'clock from today onwards, DevOps also is going to start. You can attend parallelly, guys. If you attend parallelly, the advantage is you can complete the course quickly. Right? Both I only will teach, I will manage, guys. Both I only will teach, I will manage. Not a problem. You guys can attend. Why? Because in DevOps, and by the time of completing main introductions and all those things, Right, we will finish the EC2 service, guys. If you know how to work with EC2 service, that is enough to continue with DevOps, guys. By the time of completing introduction part in DevOps, right, I will finish EC2 in AWS. Then happily you can go, you can continue, guys. Not same link, guys. Maybe it is different link. Check with them. They will provide. But before joining that, please confirm who is going to join. Otherwise, we will get confused at here. Admin team will get confused, guys. Before, if you guys want to continue both parallelly, just give the names like, right, I'm going to continue both parallelly. Just give your names. They will make it note, guys. Otherwise, they will get confused, guys. Guys, happily you can do parallelly both, guys. And for both, I'm only teaching, right? I will manage. Not a problem. Right, by the time of completing DevOps introductions in AWS, we will finish this EC2 service. If you complete EC2 service, that is enough to continue DevOps, guys. In DevOps, we will create EC2 instances only. In that EC2 only, we will do all the things. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Fine, guys. For today, I'm stopping. Right. So we will continue tomorrow, guys. Thank you. Good night.